Playing devil's advocate, what about if John turns around and goes, right, I want to come back? Welcome to the Insiders. We're back again. Daz and Matt here to provide everyone with everything they want and nothing more than that. Um, Back in Compland and good comps. So tonight we're going to just give a little breakdown on the Margaret River Pro winners and highlights of that event. And then we're also going to talk through about the incredible Stab High event in Japan that's just gone down. But first and foremost, how are you, Daz?
Pretty good, Matty. I've just come off a hard week of friends visiting and obviously getting on the piss.
Ooh.
Um, Nothing too extreme, just 5 or 6 nights in a row, and looking forward to having an early quiet night without having to um, be sociable with a bottle of wine or a couple of beers.
Nice, nice to wind down. Um, Before we kick off with the main stuff we want to talk about, I actually have some news that's literally just come into me, some inside knowledge of,
Breaking news.
and you don't even know what I'm about to say, but Kelly Slater is officially recording and working on Stab's electric acid surfboard test.
Ah, well, Maddie, I
Well,
did know this. I
you're going to
did
know
know
this
this.
because he was seen on the Gold Coast, but
No,
my inside,
I heard it on one of those stab podcasts and put two and two together. It was pretty obvious.
well, the,
Sorry, but it's
the
official, you're saying.
it's official. He's been doing it on the Gold Coast, and my inside sources from Krui in South Sumatra are that
Quick.
he is heading there to test some more surfboards.
Oh, well, that'll be pretty cool. That's
So
probably the highest profile. Well, it's not like the highest profile because they've had Rasta, they've had all the dudes, but let's be honest, he's the most high profile surfer there is.
100%.
You can't get
Plus,
more profile.
plus it's not gimmicky. It's not like I don't really like Laird Hamilton, but like Kelly knows what he's talking about with surfboards, doesn't he? So, um,
You'd think
anywho,
so.
that'll be exciting when that comes, if it comes, because we also know that he's very good at doing something and not finishing it. Um, did you see much of Margie's?
I saw a lot of Margie's, Matt. Like the last few comps, I just got the feeling that, well, not even me. Obviously, it finished in a fizz because the last day was pretty crappy. But I don't know if that really even matters anymore. You got to win across the whole comp. I thought the whole comp was pretty good. I think that if we want to be super picky, we could put an asterisk on Geordie's win because he didn't have to compete at the box, which I thought was amazing. I also think, as amazing as it is, it's kind of weird to have a comp where you surf a couple of different spots. I don't want to think that. It's kind of like they should have to surf the box, but it's unreal watching that. If they can put them in a wave pool or Trestles or Brazil, hey, put them at the box or somewhere like the box where you can get a
Yeah,
full round.
I completely agree with you. Like, and it's one of those ones where I don't want to moan about them going to the box because I really like that decision because it is different and there's no other slab on tour like that, you know. Um, but you're 100% right. I think that the reason why they haven't gone to the box for loads of years is because they've made the correct decision in can we run a full round out there with the tides and with the conditions and stuff. And that's why, if anything, the box should be reserved for quarterfinals or semi-finals because obviously you need a lot less time.
Yeah,
Um,
that part would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, I didn't think about that. That'd be unreal.
but
And
you are
honestly,
right.
honestly, I'm not against them. They didn't finish around. I just think it was a pity, and I think Geordie would have been able to take Emma Kalani there, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but also we will never know. And I do think that, it's kind of like, yeah, you put that in context to other sports, and we're not comparing to other sports, but even still,
That's the beauty of surfing, though.
yeah,
For
yeah, true, 100%. I did
and
think that the event, I completely agree with you. I reckon scoring the event out of 10, I'd give it like a high 8, like out of 10. I thought the Margaret River was a really good event.
I I knew that surf the box by looking at the scores of that round
Yeah,
immediately. So that's how interesting it is that some people like I think Jake Marshall is an amazing surfer, and I think if you put him out there a lot, he'd probably get pretty good at the place. But all you've seen for the last 5 years since he's been on tour, Griff, is he's always out there, and so's his brother, and they got through. Jack would have got through. Who else? Like Barron was like
yeah.
Barron's kind of the winner of the comp. I mean, Geordie won it, and he gets the money and the points. But for me, nearly Barron, like he didn't look as good at main break, but he still got through. And that heat he did was it's just shows how you can be really good, but nowhere near as good as someone else at a certain spot.
Yeah, see, for me, I think the winner of the event was Griff because in my opinion, he got the best wave at the box and he got the best wave at main break. Um, and it was a real shame in the final that they basically got skunked. And
Yeah,
that was really that was a massive shame because because I think Griff and Geordie were the two best surfers of the event in my opinion, like
yeah,
around
easily.
and stuff. I also thought Leo was phenomenal.
He was. And he kind of would have got through that heat except for that Mary
Yeah,
air. Even though I saw his close out Rio and I thought I was expecting more for a 9 than what he got, but it's just so hard to relate to something that you see on video where those judges are there, and that was a pretty solid. That was a
yeah.
solid Rio on a massive section, which you wonder how they can. I mean, I reckon Jack would have stuck it. There's not many people that can stick it. You just,
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of those ones for Leo where you walk away and you go, okay, he needed a 9.4 and he got a 10. Like Leo couldn't have done much more in that heat. Um, Griff, like you say, to be honest as well, I think that Griff pulls that air 1 out of 10 as well. He just stuck it. Fair play to him. It was a 10. It was a 10 plus some, and it got him through. And fair play to him as well for that. He needed a result. But yeah, I thought Leo was really impressive throughout the whole event though. And it's kind of funny how the women's side was similar to the men's because Griffin started pretty badly, and so did Crosby, and they both ended up semi-finaling. And Gabrielle O'Brien looked awful in the early rounds, and then went nuts.
well, I didn't see her in the all early rounds, but I noticed she just kept winning. And I used to sometimes think, is that fair that someone's that much stronger than someone else? Like when Stephanie was first winning early in the early days. But that's sport. Like that's
Yeah,
sport. Like, the fastest, biggest, strongest guy wins the 100 meters. At basketball at school, the best guy is usually the most athletic. And at the moment, on a wave like that, Gabrielle just seems to be the most athletic. Lakey Peterson had a great performance, and I'm not surprised. Like she's kind of been wallowing, but she's an amazing surfer too. She's so powerful frontside. She's so athletic. I think she's got a great style, and frontside and backside. I think like I'm underwhelmed by her tube riding, but overwhelmed by her on the face surfing.
yeah. And I think Gabriella was good, but I think Katie. Katie could have beat her, but basically the final, Gabriella was just on the best waves because in the semi-final, Katie served against Bronte, who both of us backed as well to go deep. So well done us. Um, Katie just when she was on the best waves of the heat, she served them incredibly and won that heat by a long way. And it was just, I mean, the finals day was a bit slow for waves. The women's final did have more waves, but yeah.
One of my best mates, and I 100% respect his opinion. He doesn't really like the comp. He says, "Look, it's just two Ria. It's just two calves to a closeout Ria every single wave." And I kind of understand that. It's not my favorite event. I like it because it offers up um, a bit of power and waterman skills. I think there's better waves in it, but I think there's worse waves in it as well.
I tend to not agree with him because of the what we said about in the show before in our poddy before the event is yes, it's potentially they make it look like that, but that did you see that big day? See, they were charging on that huge day. That
Yeah. It
Willow
was unreal,
Hardy,
wasn't
that
it?
Willow Hardy looked like she was at like Waimea or somewhere, and they make it look like it's like two or three easy turns to a closeout section. It's definitely not like the athleticism and the skill because that wave is hard to read and it's difficult to do that. And the rawness of it makes it so challenging. And that to me is why it's such a great event. And it's not just a free turns to an end section um, at all. You know, they were like people got tubed, people done big turns, like people done huge airs. Um, I think it was pretty level front side and backside for the opportunities out there. Um, yeah, I don't necessarily.
Connor O'Leary would have won his heat if he had been able to get another wave. Full,
Yeah,
like, I was just gutted for that. I was gutted.
I
Like,
know
I'm
that
not
we said
massive.
we wouldn't really back him for any winning or anything, but round one, or I think it was round one or round three, Cole Houshman, Jesus, some of the backside turns that he done out there were mental,
Oh, he
mental.
can whack it, man. And sad, but we saw it coming. Ryan Cohen's off tour. Let's wait and see what happens with that. Liam O'Brien's off tour. That was sad. Matty McGilvray off tour.
Technically,
The underlings of the Brazilian crew, the Brazilian light rainfall are off tour.
unfortunately, George Pitar.
Georgie Pitts is off tour. I sent a message to him this morning. He's got a friend in town looking for boards. Gutted, gutted, but it just shows how hard the tour is. Jolie stayed on.
Yeah, I think
Crosby stayed
come
on,
back
and Crosby's an amazing surfer. He
100%.
charges, man. He charges. He's good front side, backside. He's got airs. He's progressive. He
Smart in the
really
heat.
deserves to be on tour, I think.
100%. Yeah, Crosby's, I mean, he made it. Considering he was out of the first three events or two events, injured, making the cut, that's a good, strong effort, and I think fully deserved as well.
There's
Um,
been there's been a couple of sightings of Ramsey Bukeim down here. He's getting operated on in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a 4 month recovery, which, let's be honest, that means it's 8 months. If we're June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 7 months, January, February, March, that's like 10 months. Are they going to give him a wild card?
uh, it
The
depends
only
how many
other
wild
injured,
cards you go for because
yeah,
Medina's injured.
he's
So
already got one. He's got it. I saw it on the thing.
yeah,
So
that's
he's
what I'm
got
saying.
a
So
wild card
Medina's
left.
got it. So the they might do another wild card or they like another injury wild card, which would be Ramsey, or they might you just never know.
I'd give him, if I was powers to be, I'd say, okay, let's give it to him. We want him on tour. Uh, Marketing wise, he's good for the tour.
But what
Performance
about
Performance-wise, he's good for the tour, and morally, it's a good decision.
Playing devil's advocate, what about if John turns around and goes, right, I want to come back?
I don't think he's gonna.
No,
And then
no,
I was,
but
yeah, yeah, there you go. And but I was also thinking, is Ramsey gonna be able to come back again to be at top level? I guess he can. I guess who can't? Tom Carroll did.
yeah, interesting to see. I mean, I hope he does because I like Ramsey on tour and I think it's like a devastating way to not be on tour. Um, but yeah, who knows? Because that's the thing is John could just turn around and go, right, I'm coming back, and they can't exactly say no to that. So we shall see. Did you have anything that particularly stood out at Margie's, like individually?
Just that tube ride of Chris, which was really good, but it wasn't that big a wave.
Like
Sorry.
it's technical as fuck, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I wanted to
Um,
bring up something though. So Geordie Smith won it. Congratulations, Geordie, smashing
number
it.
one in the world.
Number one in the world. Absolutely loving it, loving his attitude. I wanted to bring up, because we are like this, his boards. I think it is, well, I wanted to ask you, do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage or neither or whatever, but what he's doing differently to the rest of the tour? Because they could all do what he's doing, right? But this year he surfed his dad's shapes, Smith shapes. I think in Hawaii he had some Tokoros. Um, he's surfed CIs, he surfed Lost, and he just won Margaret River on JS's.
Oh, was he on a JS?
On a JS, yeah,
He's
the whole
always
event as well.
he's always done that, and at the um he's just got the luxury of the fact that that was another thing I wanted to bring up. He's he's just loaded, Geordie.
Well, he's
Ah,
also got a luxury of the fact that he's not going to get dropped from his board sponsor because it's his dad. But
yeah, that's it. He's loaded. Doesn't matter. He can say to him, "Look, give us your boards. I'll surf them, and if I don't give them to me." And I
yeah,
don't even know if they're giving them to him. You'd think they would, but he'd probably pay.
yeah. I
If
mean,
he
maybe
doesn't, I don't
maybe
know.
pays a small amount. I don't know, but do you think it's an advantage?
Nah, not necessarily. I think he knows his boards really well and he's having fun with it. And maybe it's just spicing things up for him.
Yeah,
But I think unless you've got Geordie's ability and experience, that it'd throw you too much.
yeah. The other point I wanted to bring up
How
about
would I know? I'm not at their level, dude. I'm not, I'm not a Formula One driver. So let's see.
the other thing I wanted to bring up, which was really cool about the event or about what happened in the event, Bronte McCauley on a board that she bought from a shop that week.
Sick.
On a
No, I didn't
sharp
know
eye,
that.
on a sharp eye that she spent $800 on. Um,
But do we know she spent $800? Because I don't know
she
anyone,
said
any
it.
surf shop in the WA that wouldn't give her a deal.
She said she spent. She said it in the interview. She said she bought that board for $800 that week.
Well, there you go. Well done.
So
Epic. And um, that's a good, what's the word? Influence for everyone else out there because everyone's always trying to scam surfboard companies and shops for deals on surfboards, but the shops don't make a lot on a surfboard. So, like, fuck. Scam people on t-shirts or on your crypto or on whatever, but try and let the surfboard people make a bit of crust.
yeah, yeah. I just thought it was sick. Her boards, no stickers. She said she bought it, and then like goes out and serves quite a range of different conditions on that board as well.
Well, it
Uh,
sounds like she's going to be a coach
yeah, well, she
or
said that's
getting
her
into
last.
coaching.
Yeah, yeah, which is cool as. And
I
like,
noticed that was the other thing. Sally's off tour,
yeah,
and I saw she had a big breakdown after. I can imagine she was emotionally distraught. I'm not going to feel sorry for her. She's got a shit ton of sponsors. She's had an incredible career, and you know what? Move on to the next thing. I know it sounds probably a little bit frank and heartless, but there's a lot of kids out there that are looking for jobs who've spent 6 or 7 years at uni and they're 25 and they still haven't made any money. So you can't feel too. She's had a good cracker. She's been
Yeah.
on and off, on and off, on and off.
This is going to sound even more heartless, but I don't think she should be allowed back on.
Well, she can if she qualifies, mate. You can't look at that. If
Oh,
she
but I
gets
personally don't think she should be
He
allowed.
goes on the CS and smashes them and requalifies them. Like, you know, step it up, girls on the CS and beat her.
Yeah, but it just goes to show that the Challenger Series is a mile away from what the Championship Tour is.
Oh,
Because
you know that. They should have Challenger Series. Honestly, they should have one at the same stops as the tour, maybe.
they should. I genuinely agree. Or or find pretty equivalent
Very
ways.
similar. Well,
Yeah,
Challenger Series honestly should have Sunset to start with, because that way you're breeding people. Okay, you've got Sunset, you're going to end up at Margaret's. Let's say an Indo Hell Barrel, which is going
Peru.
to match. It's not really a Hell Barrel, is it?
It's not a hell barrel, but you see every
You
year
want
they have
something. You want
every
something
year.
that's going to give someone something compared to pipe.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one in that they used to have on tour that I forgot what it's called. It's South America. It's where
Quick, quick, yeah. Whack 'em on Arena in Chile.
yeah,
Quick.
where William
That'll sort
Lotti
of.
went to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got that. That would be an amazing one for the tour because they've got to have 4 or 5 world-class challenging waves, and then at least 4 or 5 mixed up beach break, whatever. They shouldn't even put on a bloody wave pool now that they've got so many of them.
Yeah, but yeah. So to wrap up, Margaret River, very good. Also, need to just say I won the Rip Curl Fantasy League for the second for this event. So I'm walking around with my dick out for a week.
There you go. Oh, so congratulations, huh?
Yeah, and it's perfect
So
timing
proud.
actually because I've got a meeting with Rip Curl not tomorrow, the day after, so I can just walk in there and be like, I could walk in like Conor McGregor and the double champ
Be the
that he
champ.
wants. Um,
What was I going to say is if I could, I'd put $100 on Gabby. Uh, I hope Dog's not listening to me podcast. Not winning the tour, not
me,
winning at Fiji.
I was going to
Huh?
say to
So
you, I would put £100 on Gabby and Geordie both not winning it.
yeah, I think Geordie's a little bit more got a little bit more odds in his favour because he can do pretty good turns, but I don't think they're going to score turns at Fiji, and he's not too bad a backside tube rider. Where Gabby, well, it's similar to Felipe. She's the best frontside hacker in the world. She's also got a great backside, but backside tube riding is a special art, and Katie and Molly can do it. Like, there's no. Have a look. There's only one. There's only one goofy footer on the female side, and that's Carolyn Marks. And I'm not calling her a win in Fiji. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Um,
Anyway, I don't
I
want to
share that
spend
sentiment.
much
Yeah.
time on Stab, but you obviously loved it, and believe it or not, I watched some of it this time.
Interesting that you watched some of it. Um, so yeah, Stab High, presented by Monster Energy, in Japan in a wave pool. They changed the section, developed this section called the McFly section, where they basically send a wave towards a wave and fucking launch off it. Last year, I was quite critical of the Stab High event in how it was presented and how the make rates and everything like that. I couldn't be less in the same boat this year. It was incredible. Um, the way it was presented and directed and delivered was quality, and the surfers were unbelievable. Like mind-blowing surfing from under 16 girls, under 16 boys, and then the men's and women's. Honestly, I thought it was, if anyone hasn't seen it, go and watch it on YouTube. They've shortened it down, and it's unbelievably good.
I'm like happy for Joel Vaughan that he stayed on tour because Huey's not far off eclipsing most older people's reps at the moment. Though those couple of airs he did were outright sick.
Just outrageous. The thing
And
the thing with
Mikey Wright,
Mikey Wright's air on day one was as greasy and clean and nuts and techie and huge as it gets. It was unbelievable. I don't know the technical terms for all of the airs, but it was a lean grab that just it looked like it was effortless. And your point on Huey is the funny thing about that is I think if you actually look, he's been doing some comps this year and he's been winning a lot of comps as well, like with comp surfing. So that could be very dangerous. But yeah, his airs were just scary. But so
just
was like
they don't look real, some of them.
the under 16 boys winner. His name's Loki Curran. The air he done in that final, backside with a grab, the technicality of it was just nuts, absolutely nuts. Um, Honestly, I think if he didn't quite land one in the men's final, but if he did land one in that men's final, I think he's like I don't think it would have beat Huey because the amplitude was different, but like it would have he would have ranked highly. But the make rate this year so much better. Like people landing so many more airs.
I think it's amazing how good these young kids are at surfing. I forgot to bring it up, but there was I sniffed out some free surfing videos from Margie's, and there was one day at the box, and there was a 14-year-old kid out there who
Yeah,
got, did you see that? He got
I
like
saw
six or
that.
eight mind-boggling barrels. Like, and I was like, who's this kid? And I had a look at Instagram. He's only a little tiker. It
Yeah,
shows, like, when you're young, you're so nimble, you attach to your feet. I guess you don't have work or financial problems if you're in a position where you can surf close to your home. And these kids now, they're getting all this water time in a pool where you could probably go out there and I don't know how many reps they get, but obviously they're getting a lot of reps, mate.
yeah.
That was the other thing because I've heard a bit of slack and I've heard in company slack about Mikey's deals with Quicksilver over the years and stuff. And because the marketing department, I don't know if it still is, but most of the leading marketing department and team direction was coming from Australia for many years because it was originally an Australian company. And I think that favoured Mikey with staying on the team. But he's just next level in nearly everything. And I think he's worth every cent to any of his sponsors.
I agree. I completely agree. I also have heard that he is a very, very good, how do I word it? Like a good team member as well. So that he does a lot with Huey and with Lungi on taking them on trips, taking them on strike missions, and also helping them with like decisions they make with sponsorships and ways to go and things like that. I think he's a very, very good part of that Quicksilver team, and he seems quite integral to it, not just with how good he is at surfing, but
He's
with everything he does.
pedal to the metal, man. He's just hell bent.
Yeah,
Like it's pretty hard not to get excited by it. I remember Paul Evans coming in one time to me, and he doesn't really care about much of that stuff. He just goes, "Did you see that edit of him?" It was just, and this would have been 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, and he's still coming out with stuff like that.
Yeah. And I also think that he's maybe the only person in the history of surfing to chair someone up the beach on one arm. I don't know if you saw that, but he
Well, he
literally,
looks like the bearded dude from The Simpsons. Do you ever remember him with the Scottish accent or whatever like that?
yeah, the groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah, he looks like him and his beard. And he had a pretty serious back injury for a year, many, many years ago. And I think it was that serious and painful that he just went so hardcore into training. It's obviously translated into the surfing he's doing.
Yeah,
And Huey, but Huey still just looks like this little skinny kid, man.
yeah,
I think he's going to get thicker in the legs, though.
probably for sure. But you can see Huey's got that pedal to the metal type surfing that Mikey does, and you can definitely see the influence. Definitely see the influence.
Who won the Open Women's?
Who won the women's?
Yeah.
Sierra Kerr.
Oh, that's right. I saw
Yeah.
that.
Backside again, just backside, just make rate, full rotation. Um, and apparently she's barely surfed in the last 3 months. She's had an injury or something going on. Um,
Well, she's obviously now getting ready for the CS, which is when's it even starting?
the challenges,
It's just the lamest tour on the planet.
yeah. I don't even
Isn't
know.
it Newcastle and Manly or something like that?
Yeah, it will be, won't it? Yeah, it will be straight after Margaret River. Yeah, so
I
it
wonder
should
if they
start
struggle to
next
get
week.
more. I wonder if they struggle to get more interaction. I mean, they're about to have 7 months off, and for one part of the tour. But anyway, we won't waste any time. There's a couple of other things in the world of surfing that I wanted to speak about, or you wanted to speak about.
Yeah, let's go.
Send it to me while I'm thinking.
Well, we have to. We can't not talk about the sad passing of Jack McCoy. Feels like a bit of a shit year for surf filmers and photographers.
Oh man, what a legend! I saw that. I was just gutted. Like I'm a little bit, or maybe even more than a little bit older than you, but I mean, I was there when Bunyip Dreaming came out, and there was nothing more inspiring than watching that. And there was Yutha Yundi that played on it. It was just amazing watching Munga, Barry, and Oki and that. And like, I bought that one. I forget what it's called with Dave Rastovich and Andy Irons. Just Blue Horizon. That was incredible too. But that little stretch of Oki and Margot and Munga and those guys and Sonny Garcia and that was just some of the best surf footage of the time. Was groundbreaking.
and still holds up now. And like I done a couple of years ago, I was very fortunate to spend some time with Morris Cole, and Morris Cole was telling me all of this and stuff, and we was talking about some of the Jack McCoy work and 16 mil, like it wasn't like you could have like X amount of cameras set up and record all day and then cut it down and then edit it and stuff like that. Like all of this stuff was like if you didn't get the shot, you didn't get the shot. Like the level of skill, the filmmaking, the like how ahead of the time and how inspirational it was. Like it all stands up now and then some. And honestly, we'd need to record a whole podcast of just naming clips and edits and
There was a
films.
section that never left me in Bunyip Driving. It's Mungabari at I think it's a bluff, maybe, or somewhere in WA. I didn't mention anything. Bluff, Alexandra Headlands. Alex Left's probably on Sunny Coast, similar. and Munga's going upside down backhand and doing these re-entries on these 6 to 8 foot waves. And I never forget it because watching it, it showed you side on how you're supposed to be surfing a wave backside. It was just like you could watch that for 10 times. And then if you were able to at least get a wave that was bigger than a meter, you could, in your mind, remember how it was done. Like, which now you see with video footage and video coaching and everything else. But then there was none of that video coaching where you had to coach yourself by watching a video. RIP, Jack, like,
Yeah,
just, no, well, like, do you know Puff the Magic Dragon,
the
the song?
song. Yeah,
There was little Jackie Paper was his name, and obviously he grew up and died, where Puff just lives forever. Humans just die, unfortunately. I lost a really close friend down here last week as well. Pioneer, not pioneer, yeah, pioneer and surf school industry down here to took his own life. And
heavy.
it's just a tragedy having these people die, but people are going to die, and it's just a sign for the rest of us to, as corny as it is, man, like try and take advantage of every day you're alive.
Just gotta. That's it. And when you lose someone that's close to you, like obviously like Timo or anyone that's close to you, like you got to think like someone like Timo, for example, lost his life to an illness, and I always think to myself like he would do anything he could to get another full day at full health with full opportunity, and we've got that. So go live your life.
And
Yeah,
if you're sad, they used to call it melancholy, depression. Please see someone. I mean, it's really hard
yeah.
trying to go and see someone when you're really sad. But talk to someone, Matty. If you're sad about winning the next thing, fantasy surf comp, I'm joking about this, but you know,
No,
talk to
but
someone.
seriously, and I completely agree with you. And if you don't want to talk to anyone, but you don't want to talk to anyone you know, and you don't want to go to a therapist, the Insider's Instagram, well, our DMs are wide open, and I shit you not, I don't care if I know you or never spoke to you in my life. If you want to talk to someone, message us because
We'll find you someone.
we can, yeah, we'll find someone. We we can we can talk
I'm
for as
going to let Matty talk to you people, so don't worry about that. But
good as,
we'll find you actually someone who's good.
but. Yeah, everybody, like we're in a world now where we're more connected than ever, but as disconnected as we've ever been. And it's a bit deep, obviously, to talk on podcasts and stuff, but you know, close people, I know people who have tried to take their life because of this stuff, and I know I've lost people who have. And the sad stat is that in England, between 18 and 45, suicide is the biggest killer of men. It's not
Oh,
cancer, it's not anything else. And
it's
that is
horrific.
wrong. Like, and it's not those people's fault. It's nobody's fault, but it is preventable.
And the other best thing to make you happy and not sad is podcasts. So follow us on Instagram and all that stuff. But I just listened to Harry Bryant with Ain't That Swell. And he's just one of my favorite surfers, Harry. And it's just an unreal That one's an unreal podcast. For me, it's the polar opposite of listening to a Rogan podcast. So Harry Bryant one that just come out is epic. And there is somewhere in the backlogs there a really good couple of podcasts with Jack McCoy. So if you get a
Yeah.
chance, listen to those things. Listen to us. Thanks for having me, Matt.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.